Hello? Is this thing on? We back. Good morning, everybody. What's up, A-Ram? How you doing? How's everybody doing this morning? BP Hero Podcast, Season number 6, Episode 25. All right, get settled in here. How's everybody doing today? Not a whole lot on the topics list. I think we're just going to kind of let the conversation flow. What's up, Sammy? How you doing? All right. So we're getting caught up with a couple of things here. X out of that. BP Hero, I was wondering, I recently got an Easton POW and a BAM and noticed the connection piece is cracked after about 70-ish swings on each. Is this common and does it affect the bat's effectiveness? It is very common. I have seen people absolutely lose their mind like the bat's going to fly apart in 10 swings. But I've had a handful of them, been around them. I play with people that swing a ton of Eastons and have never seen it present any issues at all. Don't take that to the bank. Don't guarantee somebody it's not going to break, but I've never seen it cause any issues at all. Obviously, it's worth noting because it is a crack on the connection piece of the bat, but I think as a whole, people are getting way too caught up in how clean a bat is, what a bat looks like. Like there's people that, and it's no offense to the people that do it, but there's people that magic eraser their bats after a game where they had 3 swings just to check it over and make sure everything's good. Dude, it's got 50 swings on it. What are you doing? I don't quite understand that. Like, it is an object meant to hit objects that are thrown. It's going to be dropped in the dirt and thrown around. It's okay if it gets scratches and scuffs. It's just the amount of attention to detail that people put into how clean something is just mind-blowing to me when it comes to a softball bat. Like, man, it's gonna happen. It's meant to get beat up. It's meant to get dirty. It's gonna happen. But as far as like your connection piece concerned, like I said, I've never seen it cause any issues personally. I know people have said that, you know, it feels weird or it's this or it's that, and I would be curious to know if they noticed it, if they noticed how weird the bat felt until they looked under the connection and looked under the rubber piece and saw the crack on the connection. It's a placebo thing. Some of it is 100%. Yeah, Snack says, 2 inches of paint wear, 200 hits. We play on gravel. Yeah. 50 swings by my wife. It just, I hate buying bats off of any kind of softball page anymore because you just can't trust anybody. CJ, what's up, CJ? Speaking of you, gave me crap because I posted looking for a balanced freak PT for my wife. And I said I wanted something that wasn't just on the verge of death. And then my friend Kevin reached out to me and said that he had a 27 with a seam. I'm like, here's the deal with that being okay is it came from Kevin. Kevin wouldn't have been willing to send it to me if he knew that it was like going to break in 10 swings. Like, I trust Kevin's analysis of this bat. And there are other people out there that I'm sure you can trust, but how are you supposed to? You know, people can, I've seen people hit bats in the wrapper and then take the wrapper off and say it's new out of wrapper. I've seen people say, I've even seen and heard of people going as far as wrapping their bat in saran wrap and hitting it, and then taking the saran wrap off so the bat still looks mint. And when I say mint condition is something that is very much not a thing anymore, it seems like. Mint condition means like appears new, not used, but not in factory packaging, not 100 swings, mint condition, just a little bit of field wear. That's not mint condition. That is a used bat. Snacks, okay. Maybe I do give him a little bit of credit, a little bit too much credit sometimes, but on this one I do trust him because like he knew what I wanted it for. I got to talking to him. He knew what I wanted it for, and he's like, yeah, this will last her a while. And not to mention, I think that it'll be good for seeing if that's what she likes. So she's got an old school Stealth, which is, for those that don't know the old school Eastons, it's a balanced 2-piece ASA bat, and she hits really, really well with it. But the drawback is just being older technology, the sweet spot isn't as big as something like a Freak PT would be. Even though it's a 12-inch barrel, the whole thing is sweet spot. Like she swings, as funny as it sounds, my wife at 5'11", 140 pounds, swings my 28-ounce Freak 30 pretty well at league night. It wears on her after a day of tournament ball, so we're like trying to find like a happy medium of, she's tried going down and wait till like a 27 or a 26 Freak 30, and she just still looks and feels a little sluggish. So we're kind of thinking that maybe if she swings the Stealth so well, that we'll get her something like a Freak PT or something like that, and it's going to have the same weighting as that Stealth with a way bigger sweet spot. So it's kind of hoping we can hit the nail on the head there and get her in business again. She likes her short barrel Micans the worst. I do know that. Yes, Amy, it is hot and sticky. I just got done breaking down a giant plastic Barbie house in my driveway to stuff in the dumpster because they dumped the trash yesterday. Dude, I'm sweating. It's 10 in the morning. Not cool. Yeah, ARAM, as far as not noticing a difference in performance, I'm wondering if we should make a warranty claim. I'm sure there would be a warranty claim to be had there, but if your receipt's not about to expire, I would swing away. I wouldn't think twice about it. If an issue comes up, then you can 100% send it back on a warranty. But it's like if you're getting your bats checked somewhere, they're not rolling back the rubber piece to check the cracks on the connection. I would swing it until an actual issue arises, unless your receipt is about to expire. What's up, Orange Chatter? How you doing? Jason checking in. Been a while. Thanks for stopping in, dude. Jason says, dang it, he's late. Yeah, you're late. Slacker. Bo Evans says, if you're struggling at the plate, what are some things you try to do to get back on track? If it's tournament ball, genuinely and honestly, if you want to be blunt, like I will 100% go back through the box. I will go middle and go middle hard. It's just kind of one of those things that kind of gets me lined back out. Like when I do tee work. So if you guys haven't seen Ryan Harvey's a little bit of YouTube content that he's posted, he talks about doing tee work and controlling the ball and working the ball around the field with tee work. And that's great and that's perfect. And there probably is a lot of people that can do that. But to me, I've tried. I know this because I've tried. I can't benefit from trying to work the ball around doing tee work. And maybe it's because I'm doing it wrong. But to me, tee work is one of those deals where you need to feel the ball off the bat again. You need to feel the ball off the bat again. You need to work on your ball striking, hitting the ball clean and flush, and really getting a good cut line drive. We talked about that a couple of podcasts ago. And when I take my tee work swings, most times they are right back up the middle because that is just kind of a natural free-flowing swing for me. So when I'm in a little bit of a funk at a tournament and I need to get kind of checked back in, I will just burn the box up with a swing or two until I kind of feel like I'm settled back in, and that usually helps me. But if you're playing league or you're not the guy that wants to hit middle, which is completely understandable. I would definitely suggest going back to what you know. I know a lot of times I get myself in a funk trying to be a hitter that I'm not. I talked about that. I need to start writing down what I talk about in certain episodes. But I talked about that in a podcast a while back where I went and played some softball, and there was shorter fences. I bought myself an armband and started off the day well, and then just went to total trash by the end of the day. And it was because I was trying to be somebody I'm not. Like, the fences were 275 feet away. Like, I can miss a fly ball that far. But I had it in my head that I needed to hit a ball out every swing I took, and they all had to try and be 450 feet. My best swings of the day were just trying to put a barrel on a ball. And wouldn't you know it, long story short, I hit a ball back through the box to kind of prove a point about something, and it kind of locked me back in as well. So go back to what you know. Go back to what you're familiar with. When you're struggling, don't try and be, as a lot of times I feel like struggling comes from trying to be a hitter you're not. Go back to your bread and butter. If your bread and butter is hitting the ball down the line, hit the ball down the line. If your bread and butter is hitting the ball into the right center gap, hit the ball into the right center gap, just to get that feel again. Sometimes it's just a confidence thing. It's 100% just a confidence thing, and maybe sometimes getting kind of the muscle memory and everything else just kind of back on track, and you can lock back in from there. But stick to what you know and be confident. You got to be confident in yourself. I know I talked with a really good friend of mine who claims to be in a funk. He's a great hitter, but he's claiming to be in a funk, which I'm sure everybody is. But he's having confidence issues getting in the box. And the one thing I'll say is, if you get in the box thinking, God, I'm going to make an out, you've beat yourself. There's no point in even taking a swing, because you might as well stand there and try and walk. If you get in the box thinking you're going to get out, or thinking like, great, here it comes, can't wait to get this over with, then what confidence do you have? You're not going to have any confidence to do anything. You're not going to want to swing the bat. You're going to swing the bat because you have to, not because you want to. I mean, pardon my French here, for the guys at work, or maybe somebody catching up to this later with their kids. But I mean, you got to get in the box and tell yourself, you are a bad motherfucker. You are the man. You are it. You got to get in the box and tell yourself that. Lock in, gas yourself up. You don't even take anybody else. If your teammates want to gas you up and whatever else, that's fine. But gas yourself up. If you don't believe in yourself, you're done. 100%. Snacks. I do like Van Bogart's Ba-Boom he does. So it's kind of like I wouldn't necessarily I think he might call it a two-part swing, because it's the load up and then the explosion. I can't remember for sure, but that is a good way to put it. The Ba-Boom, Ba-Boom. Like, the ba is you loading yourself up, and then the boom is the explosion onto the ball. It's a good way to like tempo your swing, you might say. You are literally using a verbal cue to set your timing. There's nothing wrong with doing that either. That's something else that I'll do from time to time. If I'm taking around a BP and I feel like I'm like starting to lose it a little bit, like I've taken enough swings, I can tell what's off with my swing when I see the trajectory and spin on the ball, and I can kind of do something like that sometimes to get myself kind of locked back in, like the Ba-Boom, just to like lay back on the ball, stay back, and then snap and explode through the ball. So I do like that cue as well. And kind of something else that I'll work on that kind of goes along with the Ba-Boom thing is, especially if I'm swinging an in-loaded bat, something maybe a little bit heavier, or something with a heavier inload as well. I really work on I'm trying to think of a good metaphor to use. The axe into the tree is a decent one, but I'm literally trying to think about squashing a bug on the ball on contact. Just like a quick like smack. Like I want all of the energy from my swing to be directed right into that ball, directly into the ball, not to the bottom of the ball, not to the top of the ball, I'm wanting to just slice that thing in half with everything I've got. Like if I had a sword and I'm trying to cut like 5 watermelons in a row in half, you see people doing stuff like that. Like that's what I want. Like I want to
charging battery.
Pardon you. I want to get loaded up and then go all the way through and snap at the end and push that sword through. Because if you don't take that sword and push that sword through, it's just going to hit the first 2 watermelons and stop. You got to push and snap and drive all the way through. Hit that ball like it's heavy. No, Sammy, I have not swung any of the Anarchy Pit Bulls. What's up, Eric? Thanks for stopping in, man. Gonna have the Anarchy 240 content up hopefully soon. I'm really bad right now. I've got so much stuff finished editing that I literally just need to put like 1 or 2 finishing touches on and they'll be ready to post. I really don't have a good excuse. I went on vacation. I was on vacation all last week, and then we went on vacation for a couple of days as well, as you saw, because there wasn't a podcast last week. And just too many irons in the fire and not enough time. Like it's easy to go out and film the content, but the editing side of things is just a little bit time consuming. Just from a perfectionist standpoint, you might say, everything's got to be like cleaned up and in line and looking good, and it's just kind of how I am. But I've got quite a bit of stuff that I actually need to get posted. I'm going to try and get a couple of things posted, at least here, maybe today and tomorrow. I got a Throwback Thursday bat that I'm going to try and knock out real quick. It shouldn't take me very long because I don't do any BP Hero Labs or anything with that stuff. That's just, kind of dig in and go, get the swings, talk about the nostalgia. So that'll be an easy one to knock out. And then see what I can get done for the Freak 23. I've been beating the crap out of that thing and should have it ready soon too. Dimitri Max says, great advice. I struggled yesterday trying to be Pete Alonso and popped up 3 times. Hey man, listen, not a lot of guys are doing it like Pete Alonso. I'm gonna get to the home run derby stuff in a minute. The home run derby was a lot of fun. I know there's been a lot of mixed reviews on it, but I loved the home run derby. I'll kind of cover that when I get done catching up with the chat here. And I did give you guys time to chat it up in the chat, and then I can get back on track with that. We're just going to kind of roll with the flow today. I don't really have a ton of topics to sit here and talk about. Sometimes I just kind of like to let the conversation flow where it goes. Any tips for anxiety at the plate? I crush in BP with the homies, but in the game it's weak singles or pop-ups. Bro, listen. You are on the BP Hero channel. BP Hero. That is a thing. That is 100% a thing. The BP Hero. Not the Game Time Hero. The BP Hero. I would be... Like, sometimes I sit and watch my rounds of BP and say, that's a hit, that's not a hit. That's the hit, that's not a hit. And then I go to a game and I'm just kind of like, dang, man, like, where's this at? And it just kind of goes back to confidence and trusting yourself. You got to trust yourself. When it comes to like anxiety, crushing in BP, and then in the game it's wake singles or pop-ups, like, you got to be confident and you got to trust yourself. You got to trust yourself to take a swing. Like, I can look at a certain pitch coming in and know what needs to happen with it. And sometimes you just got to take that swing and have confidence in knowing that that's what's going to happen with that swing. And if you can look at a pitch and say, this is what's going to happen with this pitch, and I'm not talking like picking a blade of grass and hitting, I'm talking like you recognize it's a high and outside pitch, you know it needs to go down the right field line. It doesn't have to be on a line, it doesn't have to be, into the corner, it needs to go down the right field line in some capacity. Recognize the pitch and trust yourself to do what needs to be done with it instead of taking the easy way out, you might say, with the swing. I've definitely been guilty of that in the past. I kind of got into that lull of things last year. Not taking a swing that I wanted to take. Taking a swing that I felt like I had to take instead of the swing that I wanted to take. I wanted to do something different with the ball, but I was afraid to because I didn't believe in myself. And once I kind of got that bug off my back there towards the end of the year, everything was fine. Yeah, Brent, that is great advice as well. That is very, very good advice, and that's something that I do too. Brent says, taking a walk has helped me get out of slumps. A lot of times I find I'm making outs because I'm swinging at bad pitches, slow down and hit strikes. 100%. That is another really, really good tip that I do. Even sometimes I'll apply when I am hitting well. Even if I'm grooving and if I'm hitting well, I'll still stand there and take a few pitches. Like when I'm hitting well and I'm in that groove, like I said, it's the confidence thing. I'm looking for a certain pitch that I can do something with, and I'll stand there and be picky. If I don't get that pitch, then I won't swing. Now, obviously, you got to protect if you get 2 strikes, but if, say, I'm looking to hit a giant hole in the left center gap, and I don't get a pitch to hit there, or a pitch that I feel like I can hit there, again, it's knowing what you can do with the pitch. If I don't get a pitch that I feel like I can hit into that left center gap, I'll take a walk, because that is what the field has favored for me, and I'm not going to try and force something out there and make it out, because the next thing you know, there you are forcing stuff. Well, then you try and redeem yourself next time and do the same thing again. It's okay to take a walk. 100% okay to take a walk, especially when you're grooving already, and even when you're slumping. It's good to take a walk, or even just take a lot of pitches. You don't want to back yourself into a hole at the plate every time you get in the box, but it's okay to take pitches and see pitches too, because that's going to again give you that. Because just like Brent said, a lot of times a funk can come from swinging at bad pitches. Slow down and hit strikes. That's something I've been working with our friend Dustin on from the last podcast. He is, hands down, no question, the best bad ball hitter in the state. The best. You throw it at his shoestrings, he's going to hit it 350 feet. You throw it at his eyes, he'll hit it 350 feet. Dustin Ray is an incredible bad ball hitter. But that tells me he could be a very good, very great, incredible, good ball hitter if you just apply a little bit of patience. So that is something that is also very key, is hitting good pitches. If you're hitting strikes and you're getting out, you either need to tip your hat and go on, or you are just in a funk and you need to fight your way out of it. Because I had my guy Ross on the podcast a couple of times, I think maybe last season before, and he said it to me, and it's rung so true, and I've been telling everybody, anybody that I work with in BP, or anybody that hit BP with, or anybody I start to see chasing bad pitches, if you hit strikes, you'll bat 1,000. You have to approach it with that mentality, and that's helped me a ton. That's helped me a ton of waiting on a good pitch and hitting it. Just hit strikes. Wait on a strike and hit it. Jason, no, I have not mentioned Adam's code for the Proton bats. I need to get me a couple of Protons. I thought they were going to send me some, but I haven't seen anything come in the mail. I've got a humongous list of watch later videos, and all of Adam's stuff is in there. I just got to take the time to sit down and do it. I usually watch a lot of videos and stuff on break at work, but things just haven't worked out for me to be able to do that. And I'm kind of slacking on that. I've got a lot of content to catch up on. There's some Bat Bro stuff I need to watch. There's some Fat Guy BP stuff I need to watch. There's a lot of car stuff I need to watch because I really like cars. If anybody follows Cletus McFarland, the mullet is a bad mofo, and he's going to get her going again, and it's going to be great. And yes, Amy, we do not have to swing 240 bats at the Show Me Games. The Show Me Games will be Missouri's version of ASA, which is basically any U-Trip or ASA bat that's not on the banned list. Missouri's ASA is kind of like the Wild West. They're not going to compression test or anything like that. So I 100% highly suggest just swinging whatever bat you would swing in U-Trip, swing it for that. That's what I do all the time. If you've got a Monster and you're crazy about it, or a Flipper, or a Derby Boys, or whatever, and you're comfortable swinging that in ASA, and you can, pick that up and have a seamless transition from your U-Trip to your ASA bat, then go for it. But otherwise, if you don't, or if you got an ASA bat just because you have to have one, don't get it out. Just swing your U-Trip bat. You're going to do great. Huglani Design says, I also like to change my position in the box when I'm having a slump. Move up closer to the pitcher or back as needed. I don't hate that mentality. I try to maintain myself in the box in the same spot every time, because moving yourself, if you're already kind of struggling with what might be a good and bad pitch, or you're in a little bit of a funk trying to find consistency, and you're moving yourself around in the box, you're also moving your strike zone around. And if I'm trying to figure out what I should or shouldn't be swinging at, and I'm moving my strike zone around, that to me personally, that's going to do nothing but cause me more issues. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. That's why I like when you guys give your input on things like that, because I'm just one person. There's so many people that listen to this stuff and so many people that comment with their suggestions and things that help them. And I've actually applied some of the stuff that I have read and seen some of you guys say, and it's worked for me as well. Whether it be swing advice or approaches in the box or whatever else. Everybody's got something different. That's kind of the unique thing about this small little crowd we've got here, is everybody's always willing to chime in with some good advice and that kind of thing. I dig it. I dig it a lot. So let's pull something up here. So who watched the Home Run Derby? Oh, shoot. Back for a quick break in the action here. This quick break in the action brought to you by Headbanger Sports. Banger boxes back in stock on Friday. Bigger and better. Stay tuned. These things are freaking sick. I'm going to get a chance to finally, I sold one of these to a good friend of mine, and then he and I just haven't crossed paths again since I sold it to him, for me to be able to get a review in on this thing. These things are insanely loud. They're waterproof, and I think these things are the freaking bomb. So looking forward to getting some more of those in stock. If you need a speaker for your team, looking for something durable, waterproof, those are marine grade speakers, hit me up. We can get you taken care of. Or go to headbangersports.com and get yours today. Boom. Okay. So anyway, yeah, who watched the Home Run Derby? That was a very fun Home Run Derby. I know some people aren't necessarily digging the format of, the timed swings. You take as many swings as you can in a short amount of time, and I personally like it, because don't get me wrong, I say anybody, like, I could go do it, I can't, but it adds just a different element to just not just standing there and hitting home run after home run after home run. Even though one of my favorite Home Run Derby moments is watching Mark McGwire just absolutely send balls into orbit at Fenway Stadium. That is, like, hands down one of my favorite Home Run Derby moments, was watching him just absolutely obliterate baseballs over the monster. So don't get me wrong, it is so awesome to watch. I mean, it felt like he was hitting for an hour. It probably felt that way to him too. But I enjoy this time crunch. You've got 2 minutes to, 3 minutes? I think it's 3 minutes. 3 minutes to swing until your arms fall off. It is 3 minutes. 3 minutes to swing. Hit as many home runs as you can. You can't swing until the next ball starts its trajectory down. And it's kind of crazy. Shohei Ohtani had this big hype around him, hype surrounding him, and a lot of pressure on him. And there's people saying that he choked, and I thought he was going to as well. I mean, he had a minute and a half to go, and he had 7 home runs. And then he rattled off, what was it? I can't even remember. Was it 15 home runs in a minute and a half to get to 22 to tie? I can't. Don't quote me on these numbers, but it was something like that. He hit 15, including his bonus time. He hit 15 home runs. So I guess in 2.5 minutes, and that's just swinging and swinging and swinging and swinging. And the most impressive thing about watching his round at the Home Run Derby was, you see a lot of these guys, they're fouling balls off. They're hitting really high pop flyers. They're rolling over on stuff. Dude, that man swung a bat for 4 minutes straight and hit 850. I mean, doubles down the line, singles into the gap. I mean, everything was just a freaking laser off of his bat. That's the thing that impressed me the most about watching him hit. I mean, yeah, he still hit some creatures and that kind of thing. But the most impressive part of it to me was the fact that he swung a bat for 4 minutes straight and maybe made like 5 outs and only hit 22 home runs. But then it goes into a swing off between him and Soto, and they tied again. They had a minute to hit as many as they could, and they tied again. And then I'm not a big Juan Soto fan, like at all, not even a little bit. I think he's cocky. I hate it. I have not a lot of things for extremely cocky players, but he earned a little bit of my respect that night in that home run derby, because in the final, what you might say showdown, basically you get 3 swings to be the tiebreaker, and he hit 3 absolute mammoth home runs. I mean, like ice water in his veins, bang, 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 1, 2, 3. I was blown away. I mean, Ohtani rolled over on his first one. I think it might have been the first ball he missed that entire time. But it was just insane to see him just clutch up and just send balls into absolute freaking orbit. Very impressive. It was a very fun home run derby to watch. And I honestly thought that Mancini was going to come back and win it there at the end. That Mancini put on a good show. Alonso kind of left it out there for him. I kind of thought, man, it would be the feel-good story of the year if Mancini was going to pull that off, but Alonso just being who he is. And that's the other thing, you know, you're talking about Pete Alonso and the home run derby and everything. You talk about impressive things about it. Go back and watch that if you haven't. It's on ESPN. If you have an ESPN account, go log in and watch it. One of the most impressive things with Pete Alonso with me is that almost every swing of his looked the exact same. And some of that is, yes, the pitcher just cooking him up like no tomorrow. But some of that is also just burned into your brain with muscle memory, burned into the fibers of your muscles, to just stand there and just repeatedly swing a bat, 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 swing a bat. And the swing looks exactly the same. So if you're striking the ball well, it's nothing but home run, home run, home run, home run. That just blew me away to see the consistency that he was able to have. That was extremely impressive. I had a lot of fun watching the home run derby. Jason, cancel that order. Noel, so tips to get out of a slump. We kind of talked about a little bit of that stuff earlier in the podcast. I don't know. I can't remember. Do I have on the option to rewind? That would honestly be the best thing I can tell you. I know it's kind of lame, but I spent probably the first 15-ish minutes of the podcast talking about that. You can rewind and catch it potentially, or if you're not able to rewind, just catch it when I'm done going live here. Plenty of good advice in there, in my opinion, from my perspective on fighting slumps and things like that. A Snack says they need to modify the derby. I like the 10-out format, but I know they want high numbers. See, to me, it's. I mean, sure, the high numbers is cool, but I mean, look what Josh. Of course, we're talking like a rarity, but I mean, look what Josh Hamilton did with 10 outs. And hey, I'll tell you what. The first correct answer gets a BP Hero hat on me. Who won the home run derby the year that Josh Hamilton put on a show at Yankee Stadium? Because so many people think that Josh Hamilton won that derby, but he did not. So, free hat to the first person in the chat that says who won the home run derby that year. Not Andre Dawson. Not Cano. I'll be interested to see how many. And you got to tell me if you win. You got to tell me, did you Google it or did you remember? Justin Morneau did. Okay. Oh, Noel Gunter with the win. So tell me, did you Google it or did you know? Favorite Twins player ever. Oh, he knew. Justin Morneau was a bad dude. But yeah, see, so many people don't remember that he won that home run derby because Hamilton stole the show. Just the same as, obviously, everybody remembered Pete Alonso because of the show that he put on an absolute performance. But in my opinion, I feel like Ohtani still stole the show. He was hyped around. He was, what everybody was there for. And while he didn't put on the show that everybody expected, it was still very fun to watch them go down to the last swing. Oh, okay, Jason. I saw the CA next to that. I wondered if that's what you meant with the CA, but I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't realize that he's Canadian. His snack says choked. So, Noel, hit me up on Facebook at the BP Hero or Instagram. Drop me your address. I'll throw you a hat in the mail, buddy. And what size hat you want. They're Pacific 4-4Ms. Just let me know what size you want. I'll throw you one in the mail, dude. Oh, yeah, you put up the Canada flag emoji. It didn't show up. Yeah, PC life. So, our guy Eric Sun sent me this. And, if you watch the Derby again, you notice, I think maybe they were swinging them in the All-Star game. Some of the very unique bats that some of the pros were swinging in the home run derby. It was just kind of cool to see. He sent me this article so we can look at what bats they did swing. So Juan Soto swinging the custom hickory. These things are so cool, man. Like I don't know if it's a rule or a regulation that they can't have a painted bat, or maybe the fact that it would just get expensive extremely fast to paint every bat they use, because sometimes guys can go through 2 at bats in an at bat. So maybe it's how fast they break. They don't want to custom paint them, but I love that they custom paint these things. Like I love when they do it for Father's Day. I love when they do it for Mother's Day or cancer awareness and all that stuff. I love the painted bats. Salvador Perez, this is sick, dude. This is absolutely sick. Let me see if I can I full screen this? I'll tell you what I could do. Let me zoom out just a little bit. I love this. This is sick. I'm not even a Royals guy, but those look awesome. I love that blue. I love the gold in the crown. I love the Victus logo. I always thought the Victus logo looked cool. Got the barbed wire down here on the bottom. Those things look awesome. There's another shot of them there. Those are sick, dude. Absolutely sick color combo. I love the light blue fading to the dark blue. I almost went with a color fade on my BP Hero bats when I made those with Pure last year, but the reason I didn't was because some people like to run their grips up to like here, and it would have covered up most of the fade job, because I wanted it to start kind of somewhere around in here. You got to have some kind of grip on your bat. So I wanted the color to start here and kind of fade and basically transition just about where this did. Maybe a little bit further, but it would have kind of looked weird. Almost looked incompletely painted if somebody ran a grip all the way up on those like some people like to. I don't understand that, but it's their bat. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. Just like the scrubbing the bat thing. If you want to scrub your bat down after every time you dry swing it, knock yourself out. Some people just like to run bat grips clear up to where you would put your hand if you were going to bunt in baseball. They paid for the grip. They paid for the bat. They can do whatever they want with it. And then Pete Alonso's bat was sick too. I'm a big time like graffiti fan. I just kind of like the sketched Sharpie look that we got going on here. I can zoom back in on this now. These things were awesome. I'm trying to remember. I think it was either this one here or this one here that ended up swinging for the Derby. But dude, these are freaking sick, man. I really like these too. Half of me even thought about it would look cheesy, and I don't know if it would get thrown out or not. Having me thought about buying like a white bat, like a 2020 Freak Primo max load, and having someone do some like graffiti on it for at least part of the bat. I thought that'd look kind of cool, but I don't know like if that would be something that could get thrown out or what. Just like some Sharpie graffiti or something. I got a guy I play ball with. He's a little bit of a friend of mine. He does tattoos, so I feel like he could probably freehand some Sharpie stuff on them pretty good. So I thought that would be kind of cool. Then we'll zoom back out here. Swinging the old hickory. I like the green on this. I love the color combo. I've always liked the color combo of the A's stuff. I was an A's fan when I was a kid, just a little bit. I've always been a lifelong Cardinals fan, but I was an A's fan when I was a kid just because I loved how clean their uniforms were. Something about that white with the green and the gold on there just hits hard, man. So these things look pretty sweet too. Then I love this, dude. It's different, man. It's different. You know, it's not just a black bat. It's not just a white bat. It's not just a dark tan bat. Dude, it's got the freaking Vegas logo on it, and I love the little clubs and spades all around it. Really, really like this one too. I feel like this one's a video. Yeah, that's sick. That is absolutely sick. See, is any of these others videos? Oh, here we go. Oh God, that's so loud. These are awesome. The 34-32. Oof. But bat speed, bro. He needs a 23. How are you going to hit a home run if you're not swinging a 23-ounce bat, dude? Come on. He'd still be up there hitting if he had a 23. Joey Gallo's bat. Going with the Texas scheme there. I don't hate it. That red looks really, really good. I kind of like the flaked finish. Not flaked finish. Whatever you want to call that. Gold. Somebody help me. What's the word I'm looking for? Help fast. What's the word I'm looking for? Gold foil. The gold foil. It's like a foil type look. I really like that look in the clear on that. Yeah, that's a good shot of it there. You can see it in the handle and in the red there. I'm not sure what's happening here though. I mean, you're a professional baseball player. You could make that thing the shape of a dick if you wanted to. If you hit with it, you hit with it. It's in your hands and nobody sees it anyway, but I do not know what this is about. And probably one of my favorites of all of these, besides Pete Alonso's, is these good old units here, the Trevor Story bat. I thought these things came out really well too. I think it's cool. I like the picture they took too on top of all the shavings and chippings and stuff from where they made the bats. The blue looks super, super clean with the flake in it. So shout out to Eric for sending that to me so we could check that out. I thought this was really cool. And credit to whatproswear.com for the link here. And back to the chat. yeah, Junior's comment about ambushing Ohtani was funny. I'm telling you what, man, Junior was there, and he cleaned up, put some different clothes on, and go out and present the trophy. Man, he was walking around in a t-shirt and shorts with the man. Get this man a bat. Let's see a 25 piece off the rip. And I loved watching Griffey swing, man. Vlad Jr. is also Canadian. Okay, touche, sir. That bomb he hit in the All-Star game, whoa. Snacks, I don't know if there's a rule about the length of grips. There might be. I might have to look that up sometime. I'm not going to make you guys sit through that now. But I do think I want to say that it has something to do with where the taper starts. There can't be a grip. Or maybe, no, it is what they consider the contact surface of the bat. So basically the barrel of the bat. That's where the grip must stop. I do remember that now. Need new batting gloves, recommendations. Bro, listen. Bruce bolts. Brian got some and I put them on. I'm waiting for him to kind of do his thing with them. So maybe I can put him on camera and get a little bit of a review on them from him. I really, really like everything about them. But, yeah, you can't see it. I was going to show you on my hand. Oh, that's fine. My webcam's not working anyway. So I've got a callus, basically like right where on the bottom of on the palm of my hand, kind of like, I guess on the opposite side of my knocking knuckle, you might say. Or not I guess not my punching knuckle, whatever you want to call it, my last knuckle here. I've got a callus right there, and there's a pad on the outside edge of the palm of the glove that would just absolutely wreck this callus that I've got. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter. I've tried putting lotion on it. I've tried scraping it off. It just always comes back, and it always gets extremely angry if I wear the wrong pair of gloves. And unfortunately, the Bruce bolts they would 100% just pinch that spot until that was aggravated and came off again. Really bummed out, but I'm telling you, I would get Bruce bolts if I had to buy gloves right now, and that was not an issue. And you don't have to spend $90 on batting gloves. BP Hero can hook you up with some good pricing on some Bruce bolts. You just got to hit him up. And I'm not going to say that they're not still a little bit pricey, but the quality is just unreal, guys. Like I said, I'm waiting for Brian to kind of do his thing with him. We take a lot of swings. He started wearing batting gloves, so I can get a full thought with everything he does. And on the BP that we take, we're going to see how they hold up as well. He has been very happy with them so far. Spiders is also a good choice, CJ. BP Hero at Headbanger Sports definitely can get you some of those. All kinds of good stuff in stock at headbangersports.com. You can go in there and pick out all kinds of different colors and color combos, and they just got a humongous shipment of them in. So those things are pretty cool. The Spiders have came a long ways. I will say they are very good quality gloves. So the Spiders is also a good option. But if you're asking me what I'm buying right now, I'm buying a pair of Bruce bolts. They look awesome, very high quality, worth every dime you spend on them, in my opinion. Adam, you're late. What the heck, man? We've been kind of on one today. I just got done talking about the Home Run Derby, a little bit of the All-Star Game, and kind of talking about how to break out of slumps. And I should have talked about you for just a second, and your code with the Proton softball bats. Sorry, I was reading the chat. With the Proton softball bats. If you want to drop that code in this chat here, you can actually, as a matter of fact. And we can also have people go over to your channel, watch your Proton reviews. Yeah, Jason, you can totally hit me up on Instagram. Shoot me a message on there. I'm really bad about responding to Instagram messages, like checking to see if I have any, but if I know I have one coming, I'll totally get you taken care of. We can get you fixed up with some Bruce bolts. Just send me a link to the ones that you want, and I'll get you a price. And make sure that give me the size too, because I think the availability of sizes might be a little bit hit or miss right now. And I do know that Headbanger Sports has an astronomical sized order in with Bruce Bolt right now. So if we don't have what you need, we will have it soon. We don't have an exact ETA on when they're going to get here. And I am serious when I say, spent more than some people make in a year ordering Bruce bolts so they could have plenty in stock. And I think it's money well spent. Everybody on the Harbor Freight gloves. I used to get down with that, man. But honestly, I'm kind of a, what do you call it? I guess what would be the reverse version of a hipster. So I used to use leather work gloves all the time, and then it kind of became a trending thing. And Kyle Pearson hit the scene really, really big, and he wore them. He probably started wearing them before I did, and then Mike made him his own, and everybody's like, "Oh, you wear those because Kyle Pearson did." It's like, no, like I wore these. I'm not saying I wore them before Kyle Pearson. What I'm saying is like I wore them before Kyle Pearson like went big on the scene, as far as making it to the major level. The guy was big on the scene the second he stepped on a softball field, but when he hit to the major level and started going viral with some of the things he can do with a bat, which is absolutely incredible still to this day. I was using leather work gloves, and everybody's like, "You use those because Kyle Pearson does? Are those the Micah ones? Are they this? Are they that?" And I just kind of got burned out with that, man. I'm not one to kind of like get in with a lot of the trendy stuff as I'm sitting here raving about Bruce Bulls, but I kind of gave up on those and went to a standard style batting glove. The one thing I do love about the leather work gloves is the fact that they just slide on. They don't Velcro. If I knew that I wouldn't have to put in like this insanely sized order just to probably get them to do it, I would reach out to Bruce Bolt about maybe like some custom gloves. I don't even know if they do custom gloves, but just something without that pad on the side of the palm and like a pull-on style glove. I think that would be just incredible. That was the one thing I loved about the work style gloves, the work leather gloves, was you just pull them on. There's no Velcro. All right, Jason, yeah, that sounds good. Just send me the link to whatever you want. Hoping to get some Protons soon. I know that Proton was supposed to be sending me a couple, and I know availability has been a little bit hard to come by, so I don't know if that's why we haven't got anything in or not. But I am looking forward to trying those. I may just have to break down and buy one with Adam's discount code here, which is Fat Guy, gives you 15% off. Yeah, Adam, I'm not a huge fan of the straps either. Like, I'm not like Nomar. Like, I'm not leaving my or not Nomar. Who was it? Who hit with their batting gloves undone? It wasn't Nomar, because Nomar always used to play with his after he got out of the box. He would take a pitch and get out and do that weird little wrist flippy adjusty thingy. And so it wasn't him. I can't think of who it was that used to hit with their batting gloves undone. That's gonna bug me now. But the one thing I will say that me and Nomar Garcia Parra share in common, don't get to say that very much, but he injured his, let me look up the name of what this thing is, just so I don't butcher what it is. So he and I both had a triangular fibrocartilage complex injury. His basically ended his career, and it's a network of ligaments and tendons that sit between the ulna and radius bones on the small finger side of the wrist. Yes, I did read that off of Google, but I knew what it was. It was just like, I figured what a better way to describe it than just read the description. It stabilizes and cushions the wrist, particularly when a person rotates their hand or grasps something with it. So I was playing at a tournament, and it was dry. It was like totally dry. It was just a freak thing. I stepped into a swing, and when my front foot planted, it slipped, and the bat was coming around. I was swinging I can't remember what it was, probably a 30 ounce. It's been a long time ago. I think it was back when I was still like 30 ounce or bust, because you could still get 30 ounce bats everywhere. Because I remember like I could not stop the bat from coming around, so I slipped, and when I slipped, like everything got thrown off, and basically when my wrist came around, it rolled and did some pretty nasty stuff and kind of pinched and basically stretched that ligament, and you could pop it up and down on either side of the bone because it had been stretched and damaged so bad. It hurt really, really bad. I taped it up and struggled through the rest of the tournament. I actually picked up with Home Runs for Heroes for somebody that year, and dude, it hurt so bad. Like that's probably top 2 or 3 like most pain I've ever been in from a sports injury type thing. It was bad news, and I thought I'd torn it. I thought it was bad news. I thought it was terrible. Like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? I got the tournament done. Went to work that night. I was still working on the railroad. I went to work that night. I got to the hotel and I laid down, and I woke up, and basically from the knuckle of my pinky clear back to about midway on my forearm was like protruded, swollen. It was so inflamed and aggravated. And I had a friend of mine that was a physical therapist at the time. I called him. I was like, dude, what do I do? I said, I can't move it. I can't hardly do anything with it. He's like, put some ice on it and get the swelling to go down, wrap it up real good. And then I'll look at it when you get back. And he could take that tendon and basically just like roll it around in there because it was so stretched out. So that injury, I believe Nomar actually tore his, if I remember correctly. I just severely pulled mine, which basically you stretch the tendon past what it's intended to do. But Nomar tore his and he never recovered. So that is my cool thing that I do share with the professional athlete. And that's like the only thing. So trust me, it's not like a weird flex. I don't even know where I was going with that, honestly. Oh, yeah, the batting gloves. Talking about Nomar and his batting glove. That's what got me on the topic of that. See, that's why I got to be careful sitting here just rambling in the chat sometimes. Josh Hamilton killed it at the old Yankee Stadium. That was an epic home run derby moment. Yeah, it 100% was. When he called his shot, you know, somebody said, like, how far are you going to hit a ball? And dude said, you know the subway that runs behind the field in right field? And they're like, yeah. He just goes, look out. Dude, that was like, I was like, dang. That man was calling his shot. And then he took a few shots. Too soon? But Josh Hamilton was an incredible baseball player. It was so fun to watch. It's a shame that his career had to end the way it did. And the unfortunate event that, to my understanding, kind of led to his last relapse was, if those that don't remember, he tossed a baseball into the stands, and it was a boy and his dad leaned over to get the ball for his son and fell over the railing, and he passed away. He ended up dying from his injuries from that fall. And from kind of what I read, just from a few speculation things, that's kind of what sent Hamilton on his last relapse that kind of like ended his tenure as a MLB player. Adam says he puts his pants on like Mike Trout. It's not. I'm not even sure where I want to know where you're going with that. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. We burned up 59 minutes of time. Oh, CG out here trying to get these leatherwork gloves too. Bro, get you a pair of Bruce Bolts. So, anyway, we've managed to burn up an hour of time. That went by extremely fast. Had fun on the podcast. You guys are the best. Thanks for stopping in and checking it out. I'm going to catch you at least next Thursday, maybe sooner. Thought about doing a night show sometime soon. But if not, I will catch you. They're not $90, CJ. Send me a link to what you want and I'll let you know. These kids these days. But I will catch you guys next time. If I don't see you before then, for the podcasting, 10 a.m. Central, Thursday morning. Be there, be square. Swing hard in case you hit it. BP Hero loves you guys, and he will see you then.